The repair bay was quiet, only the sound of metal tools hitting iron walls echoed around. Ethan Cole, a human mechanic, wiped the grease from his hands and sighed. It was another long day in the colony's workshop. His life was simple, fixing ships that no one cared about, old machines, broken pipes, leaking fuel. Nothing heroic ever happened here, but that night, something strange broke the silence. A violent crash shook the ground outside, alarms blared, and the sky flashed with fire. Ethan ran to the open gates, his eyes widened. A burning escape pod slammed into the dirt just beyond the bay. Sparks flew, smoke poured out like a dying beast. He hesitated for only a second, then rushed forward. The pod hissed, its metal glowing red from heat. Inside, he saw movement. He pulled the emergency lever. The hatch opened with a screech. A figure fell into his arms. It was an alien woman. Her skin shimmered faint blue, her breathing weak. She clutched something tightly against her chest. Her voice trembled as she looked at Ethan with glowing eyes. She whispered words in broken human tongue. "Please, help. My child." Ethan froze. His gaze dropped to the bundle in her arms. It was a baby, tiny, fragile, wrapped in silver fabric that glowed faintly. The infant's eyes opened for a moment, shining with strange light, then it whimpered softly. The alien mother coughed, blood staining her lips. She struggled to lift the baby higher, pushing it toward Ethan. Her trembling hands told him this was her last strength. Ethan's heart raced. Why him? Why here? "You must protect her," she said. Her voice was fading. "They will come soon." Her eyes filled with tears. Desperation carved into her face. Ethan shook his head. "Wait, I don't understand. Who's coming? Why me?" But she only pressed the baby into his arms. The weight was small, yet it felt heavier than any machine part he had ever carried. The child's warmth pressed into his chest. The pendant around the baby's neck pulsed with a strange blue glow. The alien mother's hand touched Ethan's arm. "Promise," she whispered. Her breath was shallow. "Promise me. She lives." Her head lowered. Her glowing eyes dimmed. The light in her skin faded like a dying star. In silence, she collapsed against the metal floor, still, lifeless. Ethan stared at her in shock. His hands shook as he held the baby close. The child whimpered again, its tiny hand gripping his shirt. He felt an ache in his chest he could not explain. Why would an alien mother choose him, a simple mechanic, a stranger, with no power, no weapons, no influence? Why trust him with something so precious? The alarms outside grew louder. Ethan looked up through the smoke. In the night sky, dark shapes moved. Warships, heavy and silent, descending toward the colony. Searchlights cut across the clouds, scanning the ground like hungry predators. The alien mother's warning echoed in his mind. They will come soon. Ethan's breathing grew fast. He pressed the baby against his chest, sweat rolling down his forehead. He knew he had only seconds. Behind him, the escape pod sparked, systems failing. A holographic screen flickered briefly. Strange symbols flashed across it, maps, coordinates, warnings. Before it died, Ethan caught one image, a burning star, and something like a great fleet hidden in the dark. He stepped back. The baby's pendant glowed brighter, almost reacting to the danger above. He didn't understand what it meant, but his gut screamed that this was no ordinary child. The engines of the warships roared above, shaking the ground. Ethan's workshop lights flickered. Soldiers would land soon. They would search. They would find. Ethan looked down at the baby one last time, the infant's glowing eyes opened slightly, looking right at him. For a moment, it was as if the child understood, as if it was silently begging him to keep the promise. Ethan swallowed hard. He was only a mechanic, not a soldier, not a hero, yet he knew one thing. He could not let them take her. He whispered, "I don't know why she trusted me, but I won't let you down." Then, clutching the baby tight, Ethan turned away from the burning pod. His feet pounded the ground as he ran into the shadows of the colony. Behind him, the alien mother lay still, her final breath already gone. Above, the enemy ships closed in, and the hunt had begun. Ethan ran through the narrow streets of the colony, his boots striking the ground in a quick rhythm. The baby's small body was pressed against his chest, wrapped tightly in the glowing silver cloth. He could hear the faint whimper of the child, and every sound made his heart race faster. Above him, the sky thundered with the hum of engines. The warships had arrived. Their heavy searchlights cut through the darkness, crawling across buildings like giant hands searching for prey. The air smelled of burning metal and smoke. The colony was no longer safe. He reached his workshop, slamming the heavy door shut behind him. Inside, shadows and silence. His hands trembled as he laid the baby carefully on a bench. The pendant around the infant's neck pulsed with a soft blue light, glowing stronger than before. Ethan stared, breath caught in his throat. "What are you?" he whispered. The child's eyes opened slowly, glowing faintly like stars in the night. For a moment, Ethan forgot to breathe. He had seen many strange things as a mechanic, broken alien machines, damaged starship tech, but never a child like this. The baby made a soft sound, reaching up with a tiny hand. The pendant reacted again, projecting a faint shimmer of light. Symbols filled the air, strange alien runes mixed with holographic maps. Ethan stepped back in shock. The images hovered in front of him like ghosts, planets, constellations, and it looked like fleets of ships. Ethan rubbed his forehead, his heart pounding. He didn't understand the meaning, but deep inside he knew the alien mother hadn't lied. This child was important, maybe more important than he could ever imagine. Suddenly his workshop's scanners beeped. A warning flashed on the cracked screen. Unidentified life forms approaching. Ethan's stomach dropped. He hurried to the window, pulling the curtain just a little. In the distance, he saw black armored figures moving with deadly precision. They were not human soldiers. Their helmets glowed red, their weapons charged with eerie energy. "They found me," Ethan muttered under his breath. He grabbed the baby quickly. The holograms vanished as the pendant dimmed. He stuffed some tools into a bag. Then he heard it. Loud banging on a metal door not far away. The enemy was sweeping the streets, breaking into houses one by one. Ethan's eyes darted around. He needed an escape. He opened the back hatch, slipping into the narrow tunnels beneath the colony. The air was damp, filled with dripping water and the stench of rust. His footsteps echoed too loudly, but there was no choice. The baby began to cry, a small but sharp sound. Ethan froze, his heart hammered in his chest. He pressed the infant closer, whispering, "Shh, please, please, they'll hear us." But the baby's glow pulsed brighter with every cry. Voices echoed behind him. The armored soldiers had entered the tunnels. Their steps were steady, unhurried, like hunters confident their prey could not escape. Red lights scanned the walls. The shadows danced with danger. Ethan ran, the sound of pursuit growing louder. He stumbled through tight corners and broken stairways. His lungs burned. Sweat ran down his face. The baby's glow lit the darkness, guiding him yet also betraying him. At last he found a rusty door leading into an old cargo cham. Bare. He pushed it open, stepping inside. It smelled of oil and dust. Long abandoned crates lay scattered. He hid behind them, holding the child close. The soldiers entered moments later, their red lights sweeping across the room. Ethan could see them through the cracks between the crates. Tall, faceless, moving in perfect formation. Their weapons buzzed with quiet menace. One of them stopped suddenly, tilting its head as if sensing something. The soldier raised its weapon, pointing straight toward Ethan's hiding place. Ethan's breath caught. His entire body tensed. He clutched the baby tighter. In that moment, the pendant flared. A sudden flash of blue light filled the chamber. The soldiers staggered back, shielding their eyes. A sharp ringing filled the air, and for a few seconds they were blinded. Ethan didn't waste the chance. He bolted out from behind the crates, running through the opposite door. The baby's glow lit the path, guiding him deeper into the tunnels. Behind him, the soldiers roared in anger, their voices metallic and cruel. "Find them!" one shouted. The sound of boots thundered again. Ethan pushed himself harder. Every muscle screamed, but he refused to stop. The child's life depended on him. He remembered the mother's last words, "Promise me." She lives. The weight of that promise burned in his chest like fire. Finally, he reached a hidden lift that descended deeper into the colony's forgotten lower levels. He slammed the button, praying it would still work. With a groan, the lift descended, metal grinding painfully. The baby was quiet again, staring up at him with glowing eyes. Ethan felt something stir inside him, a connection he could not explain, as if the child trusted him, as if it knew he was the only one standing between her and death. When the lift stopped, Ethan stepped out into darkness. These were old tunnels, abandoned and unknown. Only a few dim lights flickered. He set the baby down for a moment, trying to catch his breath. Then he saw it. The pendant projected another image. Clearer this time. It showed a planet surrounded by ancient machines, massive weapons orbiting in silence. Then a voice, soft and broken, filled the chamber. It was the alien mother's voice, recorded into the pendant. "Ethan Cole," she whispered. His heart froze. How did she know his name? The voice continued. "If you hear this, I am gone, but my child must live. She carries the key to awakening the lost fleet. Protect her, or the galaxy will fall into endless war." Ethan's hands shook. The baby looked up at him, glowing brighter than before. He realized the truth. He was no longer just a mechanic. He was the guardian of something far greater. The sound of metal boots echoed again in the distance. The soldiers were still searching, and Ethan knew they would never stop. He took the baby into his arms once more. His jaw tightened, his fear turned into resolve. "I don't know why you chose me," he whispered, "but I won't let them take you." The hunt was far from over, and the promise had only just begun. The night sky over the colony shook with fire. Dark warships hovered above like shadows of death. Their searchlights swept across rooftops, tearing the darkness apart. The engines hummed with low menace, vibrating through the very ground. Ethan Cole clutched the baby tighter as he crept through the old tunnels. His breath came fast, sweat dripping from his brow. Every echo of boots in the distance, every flicker of red light on the walls made his stomach twist. The pendant around the infant's neck glowed faintly, pulsing like a heartbeat. Each time it glowed, Ethan feared it would give them away, but he also noticed something strange. The pendant's light seemed to warn him, flickering brighter whenever danger grew closer. Above ground, soldiers spread across the colony, kicking down doors, dragging civilians out, scanning with red beams, the air filled with cries, shouts, and the sharp hum of alien weapons. No one dared resist. The hunters moved with merciless precision. Ethan emerged from a hatch into a deserted marketplace. Stalls stood broken and abandoned, once a place of trade. Now it was silent except for the distant hum of ships. He pressed his back against a wall, peeking out. His eyes widened. 3 hunters marched into the square. Their black armor gleamed under the searchlights. Their helmets glowed red like burning eyes. They carried long rifles that buzzed with energy. Ethan froze. Every instinct told him to run, but one wrong move would expose them both. The baby whimpered softly. Ethan's heart jumped. He covered her gently, whispering, "Please, not now." But the soldiers' heads turned, their helmets clicked, scanning the shadows. One raised its hand and a beam of red light cut across the stalls. Ethan ducked, pressing his body low. The light passed inches from him. His heart thundered so loud he feared they would hear it. Then the pendant flared. For a brief second the ground vibrated. A hidden power stirred. The soldiers staggered, looking around in confusion. Their scanners flickered. The baby's glow disrupted their machines. Ethan didn't wait. He bolted through the side alley, boots slamming against the stone. Behind him shouts erupted. "Target detected! Pursue!" Energy bolts shot past, striking walls. Sparks exploded around him. He darted into a narrow street, crates toppling behind him as he ran. The baby cried louder, her tiny hands glowing faintly. The soldiers chased like hounds, their armor clanging against the ground. A bolt struck near his feet, stone shattering. Ethan stumbled but kept running. His lungs burned, his body screamed for rest, but his promise to the alien mother echoed in his mind. Protect her. She must live. He reached the edge of the colony's docking bay. Ships sat abandoned, engines cold, scaffolding creaked in the wind. Ethan spotted an old cargo hauler, rusted but large enough to hide in. He sprinted toward it, sliding inside through a broken hatch. The chamber smelled of fuel and dust. Darkness wrapped around him. He hid behind a stack of containers, pressing the baby close. His breath came in short, heavy bursts. Moments later, the hunters entered the docking bay. Their heavy boots clanged on the metal floor. Red lights scanned every corner. Their voices, distorted by their helmets, echoed like demons. "He is here. The human has the child." Ethan's grip on the baby tightened. His mind raced. He had nothing to fight with, only his tools. His eyes darted to the ground. An old wrench lay beside him. He grabbed it, fingers trembling. One soldier's light passed over his hiding place. The shadow betrayed him. The soldier raised its weapon. Ethan acted without thinking. With a desperate cry, he swung the wrench. Sparks flew as it smashed against the soldier's helmet. The hunter staggered back, growling in fury. Ethan grabbed a fuel pipe and yanked it open. A burst of gas hissed out, filling the air. He struck a metal rod against the floor. Sparks ignited. A wave of flame roared across the bay. The soldiers shouted, their sensors scrambled by fire and smoke. Ethan coughed, choking on the heat. He shielded the baby, wrapping her tight, and ran deeper into the hauler. The pendant pulsed again. A new hologram appeared faintly on the walls, a glowing map of escape tunnels beneath the colony. Ethan realized the pendant wasn't just a key, it was guiding him, showing him a way out. But the hunters were relentless. Their glowing eyes pierced the smoke. Their voices echoed closer. The child cannot escape. Ethan burst out through a maintenance hatch, stumbling into another tunnel. The flames behind him burned high, lighting the bay like a furnace. Still, the soldiers followed, their armor immune to fear. He ran through twisting corridors, the penned, ant's light guiding his steps. At last, he reached an ancient lift sealed with rust. The hologram showed it led to the deep undercolony, a place forgotten by most. Ethan smashed the panel with his wrench, sparks flying. The lift groaned to life, slowly descending into the dark. The baby's eyes glowed brighter, staring upward. Ethan followed her gaze. Through the cracks of the lift's ceiling, he saw them. 3 hunter ships hovering above the colony, their weapons glowing, preparing to burn the entire sector. Civilians screamed, alarms wailed, chaos swallowed the colony whole. Ethan's chest tightened, the mother's voice echoed in his memory. If she dies, everything ends. He realized now, it wasn't only his life or the baby's. The fate of many lives rested in his hands. The lift stopped with a jolt, plunging him into a cavern filled with ancient ruins. Alien markings glowed faintly on the walls. The pendant pulsed in answer. The baby reached out with tiny glowing fingers, as if she recognized this place. Ethan looked around, heart pounding. He whispered, "Where have you brought me?" Then deep in the shadows, he heard it. Another sound. Not the hunters this time, but something older, something waiting. The cavern rumbled softly, as if something vast had just awakened. The hunters were still close, but now Ethan realized he had stumbled into something far greater, a secret buried beneath the colony, a secret that the alien mother had wanted her child to reach. And the nightmare had only just begun. The cavern stretched endlessly, glowing with faint alien markings carved into the stone. Strange symbols ran across the walls like rivers of light. Ethan Cole tightened his grip on the baby as he stepped cautiously forward. His boots echoed in the silence. The pendant around the child's neck pulsed again. The light matched the rhythm of the symbols on the walls. As if the ruins themselves were alive, answering the child's presence. Ethan's heart pounded. He had no idea what this place was, but he knew it was ancient, powerful, and neurus. The baby cooed softly, reaching out toward the carvings. The moment her tiny hand lifted, a section of the wall cracked open. Dust fell as stone slabs shifted apart. A hidden door revealed itself, glowing with blue light. Ethan froze. He whispered under his breath, "You're doing this, aren't you?" He looked down at the infant. Her glowing eyes blinked, and the pendant's light intensified. The door slid open with a low groan, revealing a vast chamber beyond. Inside, towering machines stood in silence, their shapes alien yet majestic. Giant statues carved from stone loomed over them, holding weapons of forgotten wars. Ethan swallowed hard. He had worked on ships all his life, but this was no human engineering. This was something older than humanity itself. Then a sound cracked the silence. Heavy footsteps echoed behind him. Ethan spun around, his stomach dropped. The hunters had followed, their red lights cut through the shadows, their weapons glowing with deadly heat. "There is no escape, human," one of them growled through its helmet. "The child belongs to us." Ethan's grip on the baby tightened, his mind raced. He was trapped, one wrong move and both of them were finished. Before the soldiers could fire, the pendant blazed with a sudden burst of light. The machines in the chamber trembled, ancient power awoke, blue streams of energy raced across the walls, lighting the chamber like lightning. The hunters staggered back, their scanners flickering. The ground shook violently. A low hum filled the air as if the entire ruin was breathing again after endless sleep. Ethan's heart thundered. The baby's glow intensified. Her tiny hand reached outward, pointing toward one of the giant machines, a massive structure shaped like a guardian. Its eyes lit up with a cold blue flame. Then, with a roar of energy, the machine moved. Ethan stared in disbelief. "Yesu, it's alive!" The hunters opened fire. Red bolts shot across the chamber, exploding against stone. The guardian machine raised its arm, deflecting the blast with an energy shield. Then it struck back, a beam of light tearing through the ground. The hunters screamed as two of them were thrown against the wall, armor shattering. The third roared in defiance, aiming directly at Ethan. Ethan dived behind a stone pillar, shielding the baby. The bolt struck inches away, stone exploding. Dust filled the air. The pendant's light wrapped around them like a protective veil. The hunter staggered as if something unseen pushed against it. The guardian machine stepped forward, its shadow towering over all. With one crushing movement, it smashed its giant fist down. The last hunter was obliterated beneath its weight. Silence returned, broken only by the humming energy of the ruins. Ethan coughed, clutching the baby close. His hands shook as he looked up at the glowing giant. The machine's eyes stared down at him, not with hostility, but with recognition. As if it knew the child, as if it had been waiting. The baby cooed softly again, and the machine lowered its arm. A beam of light projected from its chest, forming another hologram in the air. Ethan gasped. The image was clear this time. An entire fleet of ships hidden in the darkness of space, dormant, waiting. The voice of the alien mother filled the chamber once more, echoing from the pendant. "She is the heir, the last key to awaken the fleet of the ancients. Protect her, Ethan Cole. For enemies from every corner of the galaxy will hunt her. If she falls, the fleet will fall into the wrong hands, and all will burn." Ethan's chest tightened. His knees felt weak. He was only a mechanic, not a soldier, not a leader. And yet the burden of galaxies was now in his arms. The baby's glowing eyes stared at him, as if she understood. Ethan whispered, "You're not just a child, you're something more." Before he could think further, alarms blared outside the ruins. The ground shook violently. Ethan rushed to the edge of the chamber and saw through cracks in the cavern walls, more hunter ships landing, but they weren't alone. This time he saw human ships too, marked with the flag of the Terran fleet. Soldiers poured out, armed and ready. Ethan's blood ran cold. It wasn't just aliens after the child anymore. His own kind had come for her. He stepped back, gripping the baby tight. The giant guardian machine loomed above, waiting. The pendant glowed stronger than ever. The baby's fate, and his own, was pulling him deeper into a war far greater than anything he had ever imagined. And now, there was no turning back. The cavern trembled with the sound of engines. Above, the ceiling cracked as heavy landing ships descended. The glowing guardian machine stood tall, its blue eyes locked on the doorway. Ethan Cole gripped the baby tight against his chest. His heart pounded as voices echoed in the tunnels. On one side, the alien hunters screamed commands. Their red lights filled the darkness like fireflies of death. On the other side, human soldiers in Terran armor stormed forward, their rifles raised, their boots striking in deadly rhythm. Ethan's chest tightened. He whispered, "They're both after you, little one. Neither side will spare us." The baby's pendant pulsed as if answering him. The first clash came like a thunderstorm. Alien hunters opened fire, red beams slicing through stone. Terran soldiers fired back, the air filling with sparks and smoke. The cavern shook with every blast, screams echoed as bodies fell. The war for the child had begun. Ethan ducked behind the guardian machine, his eyes darted, searching for an escape. The giant raised its arm, unleashing another beam of blue light. Soldiers and hunters alike scattered, crushed by falling stone. The air filled with chaos. In that chaos, Ethan spotted a maintenance tunnel at the far side of the CO. Hamber. It was narrow and hidden, the perfect way out. He tightened his hold on the baby. "Hang on," he whispered, and ran. Blasts exploded around him, stone shattered, dust choked the air. A Terran soldier turned, spotting him. "There, the mechanic has the target." Ethan's blood ran cold. He sprinted faster. His boots pounded the ground. The pendant glowed brighter, guiding him through the smoke. Bullets and energy bolts flew past. Ethan dove through the tunnel just as an explosion ripped the chamber behind him. The roar of battle faded as he crawled deeper. His body scraped against the stone. His lungs burned. At last, he stumbled into another level of the colony, this one alive with chaos. Civilians screamed, running through the streets as hunters and Terran soldiers clashed openly. The colony had become a war zone. Ethan pushed through the panicked crowd, clutching the baby tight. Everywhere he turned, he saw fear. Soldiers dragged people out of homes. Hunters crushed doors with their armored fists. No one was safe. He darted into an alley, trying to catch his breath. The baby whimpered softly, her glow hidden under the cloth. Ethan whispered, "It's okay, I've got you." But even as he said it, he knew the truth. He was running out of time. Suddenly, a hand grabbed his shoulder. Ethan spun, raising his wrench. But the figure in front of him wasn't a hunter or soldier. It was an old alien refugee, her eyes glowing faintly in the dark. She looked at the baby and whispered, "The child of light lives." Ethan froze. "You know about her?" The old alien nodded. "Legend spoke of this child, the one who would awaken the fleet. You must take her to the hidden starport, beyond the lower rings. It is the only path left." Before Ethan could ask more, the ground shook again. Soldiers poured into the street, chasing civilians. The old alien pushed him urgently. "Go, protect her. The galaxy depends on it." Ethan ran, his legs trembling but fueled by desperation. He darted through ruined street. Tis, the baby's pendant guiding him. The sound of pursuit grew louder. Hunters and Terran forces both realized he was close. Energy blasts struck walls, shattering stone. Ethan ducked into a collapsed corridor, sparks raining down. He jumped over broken pipes, slid under fallen beams. Every step was survival. Then, ahead, he saw it. The entrance to the lower rings of the colony, a massive steel door half broken from old wars. If he could reach it, he might find the hidden starport. But the hunters were faster. Two of them dropped from above, blocking his path. Their red eyes burned into him. One raised its weapon, growling, "Hand over the child, human." Ethan's chest heaved. His hands shook. But the baby's pendant flared, blinding blue light filling the corridor. The hunters staggered, their weapons failing. Ethan roared with every ounce of strength, swinging his wrench into the first hunter's helmet. Sparks exploded. The alien fell with a scream. The second lunged forward, claws striking. Ethan ducked, barely escaping the blow. He slammed a pipe against the wall, sparks igniting a burst of gas. Flames roared between them, forcing the hunter back. Ethan didn't wait. He sprinted through the flames, clutching the baby tight. Behind him, the hunter howled in fury. At last, he reached the steel door. He smashed the control panel with his wrench, praying. The door groaned, gears grinding. Slowly it opened. Beyond lay darkness, stairs spiraling into the unknown. Ethan stepped inside. His body ached, his lungs burned. But his eyes held fire. He looked down at the child, whispering, "I don't care who they are, alien or human. No one will take you from me." The baby's eyes glowed brighter, the pendant pulsed stronger, guiding them deeper into the dark, and above, the colony burned as both armies tore each other apart. Yet in the shadows, Ethan and the child of light swept away, carrying the last hope of the galaxy. The lower rings of the colony stretched like a forgotten maze, dark tunnels twisted into endless shadows. The air smelled of rust, smoke, and death. Ethan Cole carried the baby close as he descended. Each step echoed with dread. The pendant around the child's neck pulsed brighter with every turn. Its blue light painted the walls with strange alien symbols. Ethan realized the ruins above were only the beginning. Something deeper waited here, something ancient. Finally, he reached a massive chamber, its walls carved with glowing lines. In the center stood a towering console of alien design, dormant for ages. The baby reached out, her tiny hand trembling with light. The pendant answered, beams of energy shooting into the console. The ground shook violently. Lights across the chamber flared awake. Holograms filled the air. Armadas of ships, planets burning, and the rise of a lost empire. Ethan's breath caught in his throat. Then a voice spoke, clear and calm, not from the pendant this time, but from the console itself. Guardian protocol activated. Child of light recognized. The fleet awaits command. Ethan staggered back. His mind reeled. This baby wasn't just important, she was the living key to controlling an ancient fleet powerful enough to shape the galaxy's future. But before he could even process it, the sound of boots filled the chamber. Ethan spun. His stomach dropped. A squad of Terran soldiers entered, weapons raised. Behind them, a man stepped forward, tall, stern, his uniform marked with command stripes. "Ethan Cole," the officer said coldly. "Hand over the child." Ethan's jaw tightened. "She's not yours. She doesn't belong to anyone." The officer's eyes narrowed. "You don't understand, mechanic. That child is a weapon. With her, humanity will finally rule the stars. Give her to us, and you will live. Resist, and you will die with her." Ethan's blood boiled. He thought of the alien mother, her dying breath, her tears, her last words echoed. "Promise me she lives." He shook his head. "No, I won't betray her." The officer's expression hardened. He raised his hand. Soldiers aimed their rifles, the chamber filled with tension, but before they could fire, the ground trembled. From the opposite tunnel, the alien hunters stormed in. Their red eyes glowed, weapons crackling with energy. They roared, "The child is ours! Stand aside, humans!" The Terran soldiers turned their rifles. The chamber erupted into chaos. Red beams clashed with human bullets. Sparks and screams filled the air. Ethan shielded the baby, running behind the console. The pendant glowed furiously. The console responded. Ancient symbols lit up across the floor. The baby's eyes opened wide, glowing like stars. A deep hum shook the walls. The chamber itself seemed alive. Ethan realized the truth. The baby wasn't just the key, she was the trigger. Her presence could awaken the entire fleet hidden in the void. The officer shouted over the chaos, "Ethan, don't be a fool. Give her to me. Humanity will control this power, not aliens." The alien leader roared, "Lies. She belongs to us. The fleet will be ours." Ethan's heart raced. He stood in the middle of war, both sides screaming for the same child, both sides blinded by greed. He looked down at the baby, her glowing eyes staring into his, and he whispered, "You don't deserve them. Neither of you." The console flared. A hologram of the ancient fleet filled the air, thousands of ships sleeping in dark space, waiting for one command. The pendant's glow spread like fire across the chamber, throwing everyone back. Soldiers and hunters staggered, blinded. Ethan felt the baby's small hand grip his shirt tightly, as if she chose him, as if she was saying, "You are the one." The Guardian's voice boomed once more, shaking the walls. "Protector identified, Ethan Cole. You are chosen to guard the Child of Light until the Chichaos fleet awakens." Ethan's chest tightened. He was just a mechanic, yet now, even the ancients had named him Protector. The Terran officer shouted in rage, "No, this is our destiny, not his." He raised his rifle, aiming at Ethan, but before he could fire, the Guardian machine from above burst into the chamber. Its colossal arms smashed down, scattering soldiers like insects. The hunters tried to fight, but the Guardian crushed them too. Its eyes blazed with fury, protecting Ethan and the child. Ethan took the chance, clutching the baby tight. He ran through a hidden passage revealed by the console. The pendant's glow guided him forward. Behind him, chaos swallowed the chamber. Explosions, screams, fire, betrayal. As he escaped deeper into the tunnels, Ethan whispered to the baby, "I don't know why they chose me, but I swear I'll keep you safe, no matter who comes for you." The baby's glow softened, her eyes closing peacefully. Ethan's steps echoed into the unknown, but his heart carried the weight of galaxies. The hidden passage twisted for miles beneath the colony. Ethan Cole's boots echoed in the darkness as he ran. The baby's soft glow lit the way, her tiny breath steady against his chest. Every step carried the weight of a dying mother's wish and the fate of countless worlds. Behind him, explosions roared. The chamber above had become a graveyard of Terran soldiers and alien hunters. But Ethan knew it wasn't over. They would not stop, not until they had the child. The tunnel opened into a vast underground hangar, long abandoned, its walls scarred by war. In the center stood a massive starship, old but intact. Its hull bore the markings of the ancients, glowing faintly in answer to the baby's presence. The pendant pulsed. The ship roared awake with a deep hum. Lights flared across its frame. Engines growled after centuries of silence. Ethan stared in awe. You brought me here," he whispered to the child. Before he could move further, the ceiling above cracked open. Terror and dropships descended. Soldiers poured out. Their rifles gleamed under the harsh light, and behind them, alien hunters stormed in from the opposite tunnel, red eyes burning with hate. The hangar shook with the arrival of two armies. Both forces ignored each other, their eyes locked only on Ethan and the child. The Terran commander shouted, "Cole, hand over the infant. Humanity will rise with her power." The alien leader roared back, "Lies! She is ours! The fleet belongs to us!" The armies clashed. Bullets, energy beams, screams, and fire filled the air. The hangar became a battlefield. The old ship groaned as blasts tore against its walls. Ethan crouched behind cover, clutching the child. His mind raced. Both sides would destroy everything just to control her. The baby whimpered, her glow intensifying. Suddenly the pendant flared. A beam of blue light shot from the ship. The entire hangar froze. Soldiers and hunters staggered, blinded by the searing glow. Ethan's eyes widened. In the light, he saw visions. An ancient war, galaxies burning, fleets of unimaginable power, and a single voice. Only one choice decides the future, guardian or destroyer. Ethan's heart hammered. He realized the truth. The child wasn't just a key. She was a weapon, or a savior. Whoever claimed her would command the ancient fleet, a force strong enough to rule or to burn the galaxy to ashes. The Terran commander stepped forward, bloodied but defiant. "Give her to me, Cole. With her, humanity will never kneel again." The alien leader shouted from across the field, "No! Hand her over to us, human. Only we can control the fleet." Ethan stood, his body trembling but his voice steady. "No," he said. "You're both the same, hungry, greedy, blind. You don't deserve her." The armies roared in anger. Weapons raised, Ethan pressed the baby close, the pendant's light wrapped around him like a sail. Healed, energy bolt struck but dissolved before reaching him. The ancients had chosen him as protector, and now their power answered. With one final surge, the pendant unleashed a wave of light. The armies were thrown back, soldiers and hunters alike collapsing, weapons fried, ships disabled. The hangar went silent. Ethan stood in the glow, his face grim, his arms firm around the child. The guardian's voice echoed once more. "Protector, the choice is yours." Ethan looked at the baby, her glowing eyes meeting his, and for the first time he didn't see a burden. He saw hope, fragile yet powerful. He whispered, "I'll protect you, no matter the cost, not for power, not for war, but because it's the right thing." The ancient ship opened its hatch, lights guiding him aboard. Ethan stepped inside. The engines roared, shaking the hangar. Soldiers screamed in fury, hunters howled in rage, but none could stop him now. The ship lifted, breaking through the cavern ceiling, rising into the night sky. Ethan looked back once, seeing the colony burning, armies defeated, warships in chaos. He clenched his jaw. This is only the beginning. The baby cooed softly, her glow calming. Ethan held her close, his voice a whisper meant only for her. "I don't know where this path leads, but I swear, I'll see it through. For you, and for the promise I made." The ship vanished into the stars, leaving behind fire, betrayal, and war, but also carrying the last hope of the galaxy in the arms of a human mechanic who had never asked to be a hero.